Good afternoon, everyone. Philly's back at it again with another awesome video, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're doing an Assassin's Creed tier list. I'm kind of fond of the Assassin's Creed games, so let's get right into it. Start off with the very first Assassin's Creed game. Now, this game hasn't aged all that well. Altair is not that memorable. Missions were repetitive, and him not being able to swim at all is not good. However, this is interesting to the series, and newer games have improved upon it. So, while it does still hold up, the story kind of is interesting. It was our introduction to the lore of the Assassins and Templars. In the series, being the first game at all. Yeah. Gives an iconic weapon, the Hidden Blade. Overall, it's fun. But newer games just improved upon the formula. So I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah. Now this is what I'm talking about. Newer games have improved upon it. Assassin's Creed 2, the introduction to one of the best protagonists in the Assassin's Creed franchise, Ezio Auditore. The story of revenge is beautifully done. And Italy is such an awesome place to be in. And in general, a lot of the writing is really good. The gameplay is also pretty satisfying. A new notoriety system. A lot of chests. And there's a lot of, and while the movement isn't exactly my favorite of the series, it's good enough for me. However, where I feel this game falters the most is the side content. And it's that the main missions are improved upon from Assassin's Creed 1. They're much more creative. However, the side content is mostly same stuff. Not to mention, traversing back to your home base is kind of a pain, considering that long range section, which I really wish you could just fast forward from, like fast travel to places. Like one mission where you can chase in a cart. I wish you could just like fast travel around it. But overall, this game was a very big step up from the first game. And for that, and introducing us to a lot of the iconic Assassin's Creed. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. It's going in S tier. Now to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's basically, again, another goodly written game with more Ezio Auditore. Everything about Assassin's Creed 2 applies to Brotherhood, really, except Brotherhood just improved upon the mechanics even more. So for that, it's going in S tier. Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's definitely the worst of the Ezio trilogy, but it's not really. However, Brotherhood did have that. However, I still hate the Tang mission in Brotherhood. That was genuinely terrible. Now, Assassin's Creed Revelations is probably the worst idea of the trilogy, but it's not a bad game at all. Again, a lot of all the positives I said about 2 and Brotherhood still apply to here. However, those tower defense missions are really just don't fit into Assassin's Creed. And again, Hookblade's a nice addition, but the tower defense missions didn't really need to be added. So it's getting an A tier. Assassin's Creed 3. This one's I feel is a little mixed upon multiple people. This game was Connor Kenway. Kenway was a cool protagonist. Definitely not Ezio levels of good, but he was still good in his own right. I also really enjoyed like the American Civil War setting. It was cool. It was pretty cool. Let's see some. However, main issue is that for most of the game, it's that for like maybe for like 6 to 8 hours, you're playing as not even the main character in the beginning. I get it. I kind of get it. You want to set up the Templar villain, but you could have just set You could have just set up Haythian through Connor's storyline for those 6 to 8 hours in the beginning. But at the end of the day, it's not really that bad. But at the end of the day, there is still a lot good about this game. The new combat is really satisfying to pull off. Improves combat a lot. It's good. It has good flow. Finishing animation. The finishers are brutal, and combat is satisfying to pull off. Traversal again, traversal has been goodly improved upon throughout all of these games. As in Assassin's Creed 3, the parkour is pretty fluid. However, due to it, you're playing as the main villain and not the main character in the first 6 to 8 hours, it's getting knocked down. Second. It's going in B tier. Now, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I may have forgotten to mention the naval combat in Assassin's Creed 3, and it's good. However, Black Flag proved upon it a lot in this game. This game is just so fun to play. Edward Kenway is a really cool character. Is one of the best protagonists in the AC franchise. Has a really satisfying character arc from being a cocky pirate to become an actual likable character. I know I'm not really describing his character arc very good, but trust me, when you play the game, you know what I mean. The world in this game is probably the most unique open world in the series. The combat is also extremely good, just like and improved. It's definitely a bit improved upon from AC3. It's really satisfying. However, the traversal is not as good as AC3. I mean, it's not bad by any means. It's still really good, but it's just not as good as AC3. However, However, the amount of exploring this game allows you to do is insane. Ship combat, hunting whales, diving, down to get treasure. Like seriously, this is this game does so much right. Side characters are really good. However, a lot of the main missions are tailing missions, and while the missions that don't involve tailing missions are really good, in fact, fantastic. The tailing missions aren't really a good. A lot of tailing missions are kind of bad. However, these tailing missions aren't as bad as the rest of the series, so I won't mind that much. In the sea shanty, you get to hear when you're sailing. Awesome. This game, obviously deserves S tier. Black Flag deserves S tier. Now, Assassin's Creed Rogue, I kind of feel this game was kind of rushed. Way, there just wasn't as much polish. There just wasn't as much polish put into this game compared to a lot of the others. And this game's actually pretty interesting. You get to play as a Templar, like an assassin to a Templar. However, they they kind of didn't do it that well. Like in the old games, Templars were freaking evil and the assassins were good guys. However, it's drastically changed. Like the Templars are so obviously all of a sudden the good guys, and the assassins are freaking evil. The Brotherhood's evil. Like, what? It just feels like they just didn't know how to probably incorporate assassin turning evil, so they just kind of swapped the morality of both teams in order to compensate for that. Which I feel like they should have just made the assassin just go be corrupted by evil, some like the Templars. The Templars like promises or like maybe greed. I don't know, or bloodlust. I think that would be better, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. A lot. Now, everything gameplay wise, everything's fine. The naval combat, the combat, the turtles, just fine. But it's just I don't see. But this game, this wasn't it, Chief. It's going in C tier. Assassin's Creed Unity. This was the Cyberpunk 2077 of like the 2010s. This game was so freaking buggy on release. So buggy. I'm pretty sure there's an entire compilations dedicated to its bugginess. And while there have been a lot of patches so that it's no longer bug 90 anymore, there's definitely some weaker elements that people kind of sweep under the rug. However, I want to talk about the positives first. The freaking parkour is the best in the series. Oh my god, it's so fluid and satisfying to do. The movement, flexibility, it's just so good. The game looks great. The game still looks great to this day, and it honestly looks better than some of the newer entries. And the Paris map is really good, very fun to explore, really accommodates the parkour, combat's satisfying to do, and Missions are good. However, there are still a couple of faults with this game. The story and the main character weren't really that interesting. It just it's not really anything special at all. It's just it just feels too generic. All undercut. And the unique besides the first unique assassination in the first mission, in like the first main person you need to assassinate, there is no other good unique assassination in this game. However, this game has still been heavily. This game has been improved on since launch, and because
What's up, folks?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on the computer. What are you doing?
I was making a YouTube video.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay. I'm putting Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed. Freaking computer.
Washroom? You ready to go? Yeah.
Oh my god. What's going on with my mouse? I gotta. What the hell's happening? I freaking. There we go. Alright, putting in B tier. Someone up the computer. There. Now Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Okay, this game is pretty damn forgettable. All things considered. Nothing about the game really stands out. Premise is cool. The London map is nice looking. The unique assassinations are a big improvement over Unity, but the game itself is pretty. The game itself doesn't really have anything interesting worth noting. The characters are all pretty forgettable. I mean, you think two assassins you could play as in the same game would be cool, but it's not. They're really undercooked. No character really stands out. So, with all things considered, I'm putting in C tier. Nothing too much. There's nothing really to return to this game to. Nothing really worth returning to. Assassin's Creed Origins. Now we're getting to the RPG trilogy. Assassin's Creed Origin really was a breath of fresh air for the series, honestly. That's what I thought. Baikasiwa was a really good, really well-written character. It's up there with Ezio and Edward. Weird. Baikasiwa is a cool character. And thing is, I can understand. Okay, listen. Egypt was a really wanted map and this open world did not disappoint. It was the map was vibrant, characters were well rounded. It had a really good revenge story, with Bayek and Fea, I think. Overall, graphics were good. Good gameplay. The RPG gameplay is it's really good actually. We got a lot of customization options, crafting, a lot of nice side activities to do. Pretty interesting open world side missions, However, I feel like it does do two things wrong. The first one is the overall parkour. The parkour in this game is heavily downgraded and is just not as good as any other Assassin's Creed game. And while traversing by a horse is fine, it got boring. I just much rather traverse by parkour in these games. And the second is the progression. This is the leveling system. You need to do a lot of side content if you want to continue the main story. I mean, like, you need to grind for hours and hours. And I did a whole lot of grinding. It is not exactly the most fun thing in the world, but overall, this game does do a lot right. So, oh my god, putting it in A tier. Next is Assassin's Creed Origins. My god. Alright, so, this game has literally nothing to do with Assassin's Creed at all. I'll just say that. Now, in Origins, I could excuse it because it's literally in the title. Origins. It's meant to be how the Brotherhood of Assassins and Templars started. It's meant to show you like the origin stories. But beyond that, you absolutely need to show Assassin's Creed, the assassin thing, coming back in this game. Sure, you can show more about how the Brotherhood came to be, but at least do something. Odyssey has literally nothing to do with Assassin's Creed at all. You should just call it Ancient Greece game. On top of that, the main characters were bland, lifeless. This game the world was too bloated and too grindy. So much loot to pick up an unnecessarily big open world. Too much stuff to do. Too much. There's so much grinding, so much bland content. This game is going in D tier. I mean, the combat was basically the same as Origins, but the amount of stuff. But this game just has too many counters so many negatives to put anywhere other than D tier. Valhalla, oh my god. Alright. Ubisoft, the creators of Assassin's Creed, said they were going to cut down. Ubisoft said they would cut down on the world and make it less bloated. They lied. It's more bloated. It's bigger and bloated Odyssey. Valhalla is so big and bloated to the point it's way more boring. It's it's way too boring. So much necessary things to do. Such an unnecessarily big open world. So much grinding. Oh man. Now there's improvements over Odyssey, like the whole assassin thing come back into order a little bit more, at least at the bare minimum. The bare minimum, and the rating system is pretty good. You're stripped back looting a little, and there's some sections of the game that are actually excellent. If you just cut down what works and cut down on the world a little bit, you just focused on the things that are good about this game, cut down on the world, you probably got a 30 to 40 hour game, which I would be recommending right now. I mean, I would say, it isn't the best, but it's some good open world RPG fun. Have yourself a good time. Instead, I'd say this is probably the worst Assassin's Creed game ever. This game's too boring. Main character is bland again. Combat is fine, except for dueling. You can only do if you're doing the you can only duel with two. You can only duel with two. You can only duel with two weapons if you're holding the right bumper. Stupid. And this game just takes so long to get to and from. This game it's the worst Assassin's Creed game of all time. I haven't played Mirage or Shadows yet. I'll just yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, comment, like, if you guys want some future videos, without further ado, bye bye.